Greetings gardening friends all over the world, planet Earth. How to plant your seedlings from a sprouting tray into the ground. Well, from my own experience, I can only give you my personal advice, and this is how I do mine. So, here is a tray of seedlings. This tray would be maybe almost a month old of seedlings that have germinated. They have all germinated from seed, and obviously it looks a bit messy in there now because I have been planting out this morning, I planted out yesterday, and I planted out last week. So I have a mixture of, there's brassicas in there, chilies, herbs, and I have Lebanese cucumbers, zucchinis, melons along the back. I will be putting a trellis up here. Along here, they're very, very tiny, but I have a row, there's one, of different sorts of tomatoes, all the way down to the end. So, you have your tray of seedlings. Well, how do you actually plant your seedlings? My advice to you is to follow the instructions that come with your seeds, if you have any, but a general rule of thumb is that the smaller the seed, the closer they need to be to the surface. So if you have a big seed like a zucchini or a corn kernel, you stick that maybe 3 to 4 mils underneath the soil's surface. If you have a tiny seed such as mint or onion or parsleys, all you need to do is just keep them on the surface with a tiny covering of vermiculite or perlite or even nothing. Just sprinkle them over the top. And then what you want to do is have a cover, and you want to keep that over the top until you have germination like this. And so this cover has been constantly on for over, well, almost, I think, about a month now. So, you need to water, you need to keep this moist and humid until you have germination. And, these are telling me we are ready to be put in the ground, put into Mother Earth's goodness. So just for an example, this is not vegetable seeds, but this is called callistemon, which is a native bottle brush to Australia. These seeds are, they are microscopic. They are so small. And you can see, in comparison, you can barely see them on the camera. But they are tiny, and they don't need a dressing whatsoever. And so I just threw them over this vermiculite and potting mix and just kept this cover and still keep that cover over the top. So today is the day to plant out the brassicas, and the brassicas are going in here. So obviously I've tilled the soil here. I have quite a high content of clay, so I am going to compensate that and mix in some potting mix over there, and I have a bucket of sawdust that has been sitting out there. It's over 6 months now. And I know a lot of people have a bit of apprehension about putting sawdust or bark chips inside the soil as they fear it may leach nitrogen or take nitrogen from the soil. But once it's matured after, a good amount of time, you won't have that issue. So, and other than that, fertilizers, the only fertilizer I would use is sea salt, which I don't really use too much of, and urine. Yep, that's right. I'm all about natural organic lifestyle here, and urine, your pee is like the golden elixir from the gods. It is the best fertilizer known to man, in my opinion. And if you want to research that yourself, you can absolutely see the incredible properties that come from your own urea, your own urine. There is nothing that beats it. So start collecting it and save yourself some money and use, what has been naturally given to you or excreted by you back into the earth. Put it back into the earth. You will have the most healthiest, abundant vegetables. And not only that, if you have animals and love animals like I do, I have chickens and they're very curious. I cannot have any kind of chemical fertilizer here because it will poison them. Let me show you how I plant. So what you're going to need is obviously your seeds. You can either use a knife or you can use some tweezers. I like to use tweezers. I have my tap on a small trickle. It's got a water control handle thing here, and let's get to it. So now that's all nicely mixed in. I've got the potting mix and the sawdust, and now what I'm going to do is just give it a quick watering. And here's my little trusty hose. Get my little tweezers. I don't want to try and disrupt. They came up quite easy. And in it goes. I try and leave some of the stem out, doing this one-handed, and gently press in the ground. There we go. There's your seedling, and in she goes. Just being very gentle. And there you have it. After I do this entire area here, I will give this a gentle water on the shower setting. If you have some kind of gentle showering setting on your hose, then an overhead water will be just great. I will say that there are some vegetables that don't need to be put in a seed tray, like over there. They can be directly planted in the ground. However, for this corn, this is glass gem corn. It's a bluish green, blackish corn. I still put them in the sowing seed tray, and within a week, probably not even, I took the shoots, the seedlings, and put them straight in the ground. And they have been fertilized with urine this morning and a shower of water.